Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Top Rope Podcast. Yeah, WWE Backlash review over in France. And my goodness, what a crazy, loud, boisterous, insane crowd that was at the arena there in Lyon, France. And I thought it was really, really good at times. And I thought at other times it kind of took away from the show. And I might be in the minority here because I watched the press conference. I've been reading some other reviews. Seemed like everybody was like blown away, even the performers, and they should have been. The crowd was nuts, blown away by how loud that crowd was and the atmosphere there in France. And I'm with them. I'm with them up to a certain point. We're going to talk about that here on our Backlash review. The first match of the night was the Bloodline defeating Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in what we did not know coming into the show was going to be a street fight. Tornado tag team street fight rules. It was just nuts right from the get-go. They start brawling before the crowd's going crazy. And then we see security, we see a couple of stunners to security. And then Nick Aldis says, hey, you guys are going to do this? You know what? The hell with it. Make it a street fight. And that place went bonkers whenever that happened. And I was right there with them. I was like, holy cow, listen to this freaking place right now. Only 11,000 some odd people. And I thought they've had like 14, 15, 16,000 people in the arenas. But somehow there's the largest gate. I guess that just means profit, right? So what are they charging, $100 for t-shirts? That aside, that place was nuts. The largest gate in the history of any WWE arena event. Like, they even could have probably done this at the stadium, but man, maybe someday they will. Did they not just think it was a big enough pay-per-view to hold at a stadium? I don't know. I wish they wouldn't have done SmackDown. I mean, it did kind of give us a preview doing SmackDown there, and it made more sense logistically for WWE to do that rather than tape two SmackDowns, the week before the premium live event. But again, though, it was like, all right, well, cool. It's back. It's the same setup as we saw the night before on SmackDown. So, but man, I mean, the crowd, though, was even crazier than they were on SmackDown. And I'm right there with them through that first match. It is going to get my match of the night. Some argument to be made for Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles because I thought that one was undersold and over-delivered. We're going to get into that here in just a bit. But this was my match of the night because I'm right there with the crowd for that first match. Just how nuts they were and everything that went on. It was just hard not to feel it. And I felt it. Now, what I did not expect, however, I think everybody was thinking Jacob Fatu. Were we not? Well, instead, we get Tonga Loa, the brother of Tama Tonga, both sons of the legendary Ming Haiku. Arguably, I think, very much regarded by everybody as one of the craziest mofos ever. What are they calling the first Tama Tonga? MFT? Does anybody know what that means? I've read some theories on what they think it might mean. That was after the first time they said it, so I don't know if I don't think they've ever cleared it up. I don't know what that means. So every time they say it, it's like, I want to know what it means. I don't think commentaries ever said what MFT means. I don't think I'm the only one on this. I was talking to some other people who were like, you know what that means? Like, no, I don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot and I don't know what that means, but I don't think so because I looked it up and there didn't seem to be any clear-cut answer. Again, that was right after the first time they said it, but he looks like a bad mother trucker, but as far as his brother goes, I don't know. As soon as I saw Tama Tonga, I was like, holy cow, look at this guy. As soon as I saw his brother, I was like, I don't know. He had a good build and everything to him, but it's all about the face. A lot of this these guys that, end up getting over, it's about your facial. I mean, they are essentially partially actors. And a huge, huge part about acting is, what are you telling me with your face? Am I making you believe every word? Am I a crazy psycho? Do you believe me? It's about the face. It's about the acting. And I don't know, just on his face, I just didn't think he seemed like that big of a threat. Now, we'll see what play out. We'll see how it goes. Going to, give him a chance. And maybe it was just because I was disappointed because it wasn't Fatu. But it makes a lot of sense to bring in the other Tongaloa. I don't understand that. We got Tama Tonga. So that's his, I guess, quote unquote, last name is Tonga. I don't know. Please, if you clear it up for me in the comments, that would be great. But his last name is Tonga. But then the other guy's first name is Tonga. So, I get very confused. I get confused easily. These things happen. Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed about that. But, I mean, still, again, with how crazy that crowd was and how fresh it was in my mind, and how new it was that they were popping so loud and doing all these different kind of crazy chants. I was digging it at the time. I was still digging it. In the next matchup, Bayley defeated Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. No surprise. I mean, the whole card, I predicted every single one of them right. The only thing I got wrong, and I got even down to Naomi getting the pin, taking the pin on this one, got that right. It was kind of a quick little, backslide, shoulder slide. It wasn't much to it, but the match itself wasn't bad at all. But yeah, down to not getting right that it was going to be Fatu or Tongaloa instead of Fatu. Everything else and pretty much nailed on the head. And I'm like, kudos to me, right? Well, no. I mean, it was really predictable, but I think the crowd did make it. They turned a pretty okay, decent card into something pretty special for the most part. Like I said, I do have some qualms a bit later. I'm going to get to that, but and I don't know. I think a lot of that maybe had to do with just they don't ever get shows over there. So, of course, they're going to be going freaking bananas because in WWE rarely, if ever, goes over there, especially not a PLE. So their excitement level was off the freaking charts. So I get it. Just talking about this second matchup, though, I thought Tiffany Stratton, some of the stuff she did on the outside, the cartwheel, I think she had Naomi in her grasp, and I don't know what exactly they were doing, but it was great, man. Tiffany Stratton is excellent, and I thought she proved that she deserves to be in that women's main title picture, with up there with some of the best in the game, and she deserved that spotlight. She deserves to be featured heavily. She proved that. I think this women's division, especially with Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, maybe some of these other girls that are in NXT now, maybe, but I mean, especially those two that have come up, Jade from a different system, Tiffany from NXT, like the women's division, the future is really, really, really bright. And this was a great match. I'll give that first match an A. I'm going to give this one a B+. I thought it was great. Damian Priest, Jey Uso, entrance of the night. I'm going with Jey Uso. Oh my goodness. That place was just crazy, and they had their phones out with the lights on, bobbing up and down. And then even when they're introducing the match and, introducing the wrestlers, putting the title on the line, like the freaking ring was shaking. That's how loud that place was. And the decibel level, like I guess there had to be some kind of warning for people in the arena that they could get permanent damage to their hearing because of how loud that place was. That's nuts. That's nuts, man. But I thought, entrances aside, I don't know, just Damian Priest's look on his face. I mean, maybe he was just trying to sell that he was just kind of irritated by the Judgment Day of late. I don't know. He was just, I don't know. His face was just looked a little bit off to me, like almost like, he's like, God bless. I'm gonna go out here and, man, I'm dropping the world title in my first freaking appearance. Well, it didn't happen. He retains. But for a while there, I was like, I was like, maybe he's just not selling well and is disappointed in the fact that he's actually going to lose. So that was like one of the only reasons I thought maybe Jey Uso had a shot in this one. And that's just me making up my own thing at the time, which obviously didn't turn out to be true. But I don't know. He just seemed like he was a little bit off. Not in the match, but just the way he was looking, and I don't know, just seemed a little like somber-ish, but again, maybe he was going for that, and he didn't want the Judgment Day to get involved. They do get involved. Like, does he want to be a babyface? Like, otherwise, like, why wouldn't you want their help? Like, I get it. He wants to go out and do his own thing. He can handle it himself. I guess it's because Judgment Day's been screwing up a lot, so he just wants them to stay out of his affairs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, they helped him win. They helped him. JD got that foot on the rope for him. So does he forgive them, or, because I think he could still be getting mad at him, but them saying, well, hey man, but we helped you retain the title. If it wasn't for us, you might not be the champ. Maybe we see the Judgment Day turn on him and not him just go against the Judgment Day. Maybe that's what it is, like saying, well, screw you then, man. We helped you win, and then they beat him down, and then Damian Priest is a babyface. He's a singles babyface, and when Mommy comes out, she's a single babyface as well. And then what happens at the Judgment Day? They be gone? They be gone? I don't know. We shall see. And we're still very much popping and excited by the crowd and their reactions, and they definitely kept things interesting for sure. That was 3 matches in. By the time we got to the 4th match, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. This was the worst match of the night. And it wasn't bad. I like Jade and Bianca taking down the titles. Again, very predictable. No shock. I don't know. Chemistry in this one was not very good. We had some confusion on who was legal and not legal. And I thought all that could have been forgiven and saved after the incredible move that Jade Cargill hit on Kairi Sane for what I looked like was going to be the finish, except she wasn't the legal woman. So then Bianca has to do her move, and she has to be the one that makes the pin. I thought that took away from Jade's move just ever so slightly, but it happened so rapidly that it didn't really hurt it too bad. But I don't know, this match wasn't great, yet still the crowd's going nuts for it, which, okay, I mean, I guess, does a crowd going nuts for not so great of a match, does that make it a better match? Well, I guess probably you could argue that, but I'm sitting there going, why the hell are they cheering so loud? And like, this match is not that great. Like, after, and I'm starting to get annoyed. This is where I'm starting to get annoyed with them a little bit. Even a little bit in the world title match, just because they're repeating the same freaking chants over and over and over again every other 2 seconds. I don't think it was the "This is awesome" chant. I think it was the other one that they kept doing. No idea what they were saying, and maybe that's a part of it too, because I'm a big, like, whenever people are chanting stuff, I got to listen in, and the crowd's chanting, I'm like, what are they saying? What are they saying? Gotta know. But yeah, so it might have just been because I didn't understand, but then I'm just like, well, not only do I not understand it, I have to hear it every 5 freaking seconds now, and the singing, it was good. There was some cool, singing was fine. I don't know what they started singing their national anthem or whatever, like in the middle of them doing the match. It just looked freaking stupid and weird. Like, we got people in the ring doing moves here, but you guys are singing your freaking national anthem. I mean, cool moment for them. Cool moment for France. Not trying to crap on it too much, because they went bonkers, and for the most part, I think it helped the show. I did think it hurt it a little bit, though. I'm just like, trying to watch a match. I can't even hear the commentators, what the hell they're saying and trying to tell me a story, because you guys are singing some dang song. And worst when the AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes match. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But yeah, just out of sync, out of chemistry a little bit with Jade Cargill and Bianca and the Kabuki Warriors. So I didn't think that match was too fantastic. Let's see. Well, we go with the first match. I went with an A. Second one, I went with a B+. That Damian Priest, Jey Uso. Go B-. Then this one, I'm probably going to go, I'll give it just a solid C for Jade Cargill and Bianca taking down the Kabuki Warriors. I didn't think it was definitely the weakest match of the night, but it wasn't horrible. But by the time we got around to, I did want to go back. And I'll praise the crowd a little bit. Like them singing Randy Orton's theme song was freaking magic, man. We just don't ever see any crowd very rarely sing Randy Orton's song. And then they come out, they were singing Cody Rhodes' song. I like that stuff for the most part, except, I can't really hear the song at all, and I can't hear Samantha Irvin do the introductions because all I hear is the crowd saying who it is, and it's just like, okay, like I could get why people would love that, and I did like it at times. It's just I was tired of it. I was freaking tired of it. By the time we got around to the main events, it's like do a move, and then we get a "This is awesome" chant. Or the other stupid chant, which thankfully I do a pretty good job of blocking out the negatives, so I've already blocked out that song. I guess it didn't stick with me that much, right? If it's not stuck in my head, but right now, but at the time, it was just very, very annoying, just repetitive, and then I guess the song they were singing for AJ Styles was some kind of traditional French song about a person that's phenomenal or whatever the hell Corey Graves tried to say on commentary to justify it, but I'm just like, really? Do I have to hear this every 2 minutes for 10, 15 second increments? It was just like, it was great. Crowd was great until they weren't great, until they were just annoying. They were just annoying the crap out of me. By the time we rolled around to that main event, and it's like, I don't know. You get those crowds that try to take over shows and everything. I'm not saying they necessarily did that because I think they did more good than they did bad. But for me, it was just like there were parts of that last match when once they started doing the same chant again and again and again, I muted the TV. I started muting the TV in that main event. I was over it. I was done with those chants by that point, and just really first kind of started annoying me was in that second match where they're singing hey we want some Bailey, and she's getting her ass beat. She's clearly getting beat down. I mean, okay, do you want some Bailey because you want her to start doing good again? I don't know. It just didn't match up with at times what was happening in the ring didn't match up with how the crowd was reacting. And again, just the overused chants every 2 freaking seconds. But the booms and the A's and all that was, they were loud. And I think for the most part it worked. It just, to yours truly, it just, they annoyed me. And again, that might have just been because I couldn't understand a lot of it because they're in a different country. So I totally understand and get that. But I think this last match was a hell of a match. A hell of a match. I didn't think the storyline going into it was super spectacular, but I was like, wow, these 2 former members of the Bullet Club, although I didn't follow that too much in New Japan or Ring of Honor, wherever it was, but I'd certainly heard of it, and they mentioned it, and I know about the Bullet Club, and one of the bigger groups in all wrestling, although they stole the Too Sweet from the NWO for life. But, I was like, all right, man, this could be a good match. Obviously, we know Cody's going to win, but, man, then I was like, wow, it ended up turning out. They definitely had a great match. It undersold, over-delivered, like I mentioned. I'm going to give it a solid B. I'll give it maybe a B+. I'll go B+ for that one. overall show, wow. Let's take you on the roller coaster ride that I was thinking. After that first match, with how crazy the crowd was and how pretty decent of a street fight that was, I was like, wow, I'm at an A+ right now. And then the second match was like all right. Maybe it kicks down to an A- with it not being Fatu. But I was like, still doing pretty well. And then every match was pretty good, so I'm sitting at about an A-, B+, A-, except then the women's tag team. That knocked it down to probably a B, but the fact seeing Jade and Bianca win it was pretty cool. It's knocked it back up to probably a B+. And then the main event was pretty good, but I think if I wouldn't have just been as good as the crowd was, like I said, they popped it off the charts, but it also kind of annoyed me, so maybe a little bit of a wash there. I'll give the show a B. A B for Backlash. A B for Backlash. And now we're going to get into the newly ranked men's and women's top 25s. As always, we're going to start with the ladies, and I have decided, I'm just letting you know right now, I'm not going to do tag teams. I said I was going to get on here, maybe start doing a tag team, at least top 10. Well, I'm throwing tag teams in with our men's and women's rankings. If there's a good enough tag team to get into the top 25, we're putting them in the top 25. They do not have to be a solo act no longer to be in the men's and women's top 25 rankings. And boy, you're going to see at least one major change in the men's coming up. Women's hasn't changed much since our Backlash preview show. So I'm going to kind of run through it real quickly. Got that number 25, Kiana James. Interested to see what happens with her after being called up. Especially now we get the drafts over and we'll have everybody on their respective shows at least for a month or two, right? Until they just start saying who cares. But so I got Kiana James at number 25, Mariah May at number 24. She's really coming a long way in her wrestling skills and just her character development. She had a really good match. It was against Thunder Rosa. I can't remember who that was against last week, but it was really solid. Number 23, I got Lyra Valkyrie. At number 22, got Deonna Purrazzo. Number 21, I got Tatum Paxley. I've just been really extremely interested in her after that triple threat for the NXT women's title. As I mentioned last time, she may be a believer there. Believe in her character. She's got good facials. Just an interesting character, interesting wrestler. Number 20, I got Chelsea Green. Even though she plays the lovable, well, I guess not lovable because she's supposed to be a heel, but annoying loser. She's still a lovable loser to me, and she's very entertaining. I got her at number 20. Number 19, I got Julia Hart. Now, here's where these things, if I'm putting tag teams, come into question. I should probably put these ladies at just one spot, but now that they lost the titles, don't know exactly what's going to happen. Do we see Asuka perhaps in more singles matches? So I'm going to separate them. They are going to go back to back. Kabuki Warriors, I got Kairi Sane of the Kabuki Warriors at 18. I got Asuka at 17. Yeah, probably should flip that. I'm going to go Io Sky 19, or Io Sky rather 18. She didn't do anything on the pay-per-view. Kairi 17, Asuka 16. Yeah, heck with it. I'm keeping Dakota Kai at number 15. Even though she's the leader of Damage Control now, so even though she didn't have a match at Backlash, I'm keeping her above there. And I'm kind of going to start doing these things. I'm still going to try to maybe make a little bit of logical sense. I just don't want to have just all my favorites at the top, but at the same time, a lot of this is who is most interesting to me on my TV, but also just overall, who's getting the good storylines and who gets the most prominent times and who's doing a good job with it. But a little bit more biased probably coming up than I should be, but it is what it is. That's the TRP Top 25. Be sure to let me know what you guys think. Who's your top? Who's your top? At the top of your list on who you want on your TV the most right now. Number 14, I got Thunder Rosa, number 13. I got Willow, number 12. Nia Jax falling out of the top 10. Got her there. 11, I got Jordan Grace. She's the only wrestler outside of WWE, NXT, or AEW that is in the top 25. At number 10, I got Roxanne Perez, your NXT Women's Champion. She's not been getting exactly, quote-unquote, over as a heel. She still gets a lot of cheers, but I think she's doing her damnedest to try to be a heel. And hopefully she can continue to build heat. Number 9, she's falling down the list because she just hasn't wrestled yet, probably at Double or Nothing. And just kind of starting to lose interest with her really fast. She was up there at number 3 whenever she came into AEW. Great debut, crowd was popping, but then that's Mercedes Moné at number 9. She's still up there. She's worthy. She's definitely still one of the mega stars, but she gonna have to start doing better. Gonna have to wrestle sooner than later, otherwise she will be out of the top 10 quickly. Number 8, I got Naomi. Heck of a match. I know she ate the pin at Backlash, but her entrance is one of my favorite things to watch every single week. And I was happy that this time her attire doesn't, I know the jacket or coat or whatever she has always glows, but her outfit and her wrestling gear itself, one piece, whatever they're called, doesn't always glow. So it looks kind of weird when she takes that coat off. It's like, why aren't you glowing? Well, she glowed. Her outfit glowed at Backlash. And it's popping, man. She's a proven veteran. She does a great job. It's probably about as high as she's going to get pushed and probably as high as she'll be on the list. But I think she'll remain in the top 25 for quite some time as long as she is at least relevant and prominently featured. Number 7, I got Becky Lynch. You're probably like, wow, how does your Raw Women's Champion get down the list that far? She should be probably number 2, number 1, maybe, huh? Well, I don't know, man. She wouldn't have the title if Mommy wouldn't have got hurt, and she won in a battle royal that just wasn't that spectacular. I'm more interested in people like we got at number 6 and number 5, Tiffany Stratton. Hell of a match. I'm way more interested in her right now than I am Becky Lynch. So, this is where I kind of throw the logic out the window. And even though she's the champ, I'm more interested in Tiffany Stratton. So I got Tiffany Stratton at number 6. I'm definitely interested to see if Liv Morgan does make a full heel transition, if she can maybe get that belt off Becky Lynch, set up a rivalry between her and Mommy whenever Mommy comes back. I would rather see Liv Morgan be the champion and be a bad girl right now. But I'm still very interested. I think the next couple, 2-3 weeks definitely border on whether she's going to stay high up the list or whether Liv falls out of possibly the top 10. Number 4, I got your AEW Women's Champion. I'm invested in Toni Storm. It's not gotten stale yet. Still loving her. Number 3, this is another spot where it's like, okay, well, these two are a tag team. They're your tag team champions, Gary, so there should just be one. Well, no, because number 1, they don't even have a tag team name. And number 2, they're way, way too big as individual stars to have them listed as a tag team in the women's top 25. So they are both worthy of getting their individual spots. At number 3, I got Bianca Belair. At number 2, I got Jade Cargill. To be honest, is where I'm keeping logic in here a little bit because, you know what? Screw it. These are my favorites. This is who I think if I'm saying, hey, this person's on my show or on this show, and who am I paying a ticket? Who am I paying a ticket to go to see? Who do I get excited about most whenever it come on my TV? And then again, it is about who's doing well. Jade Cargill 2 or Bayley? Who's number 1? Jade Cargill or Bayley? I'll go Bayley. I want to keep a little bit of logic. Keep just a sliver of logic. I'll go Bayley number 1, Jade Cargill number 2, and that's our crazy, wonky, wacky TRP Women's Top 25. And now for your men's top 25. At number 25, I got Braun Breaker. No, he hasn't done a lot yet, but I'm very interested to see what he is going to do, and I hope he's featured prominently. Did he go to SmackDown or Raw? We'll find out, I guess. I thought he went to Boy, I want to say he's on Raw. That might hurt him a little bit. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what he does here in the next coming few weeks. That'll determine whether or not he's bumped in or stays in there or goes out of there. Number 24. Really, I mean, he should be really way higher up the list, but he's going to drop so rapidly because he's not wrestling. But, man, after that promo, I at least got to give him a shout-out for 1 week in my top 25. After the heartfelt promo, with Kenny Omega on Dynamite. That was epic, man. That was a hell of a moment. They really turned, a lot of that was a shoot. Some of it was a work. Blurring their lines there was fantastic. Just absolutely great television. Last week's Dynamite was incredible, man. After, I thought, a pretty piss-poor show the week before with all the difficulties they had with production, except for the ending was kind of cool with Tony Khan, created a lot of buzz with the Elite taking him out or down or whatever. And then, with him opening the show on Dynamite and then ba-ba-boom, bada-boom. Oh, lost the feed and everything with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, hello. They might remember we're putting tag team in the top 25. Wait for it. Well, you're going to have to wait a little while. Boy, I'm giving it away. Gave it away. Dang it. Number 23, I got The Awesome Truth. Number 22, I got Jon Moxley. No, I don't like Moxley. I've already lost interest. I'm more interested in Ilya Dragunov. I'm bumping Ilya Dragunov. I had him at number 29. I'm putting him up. We bumped Ilya Dragunov up to 22. Chad Gable, 21. Still very much interested in him. 20, Kevin Owens. Number 19, I got Trick Williams. Number 18, I got Carmelo Hayes. Kind of running through this quick because it's basically the same as last time. 17, Gunther. 16, Randy Orton. Number 15, I got AJ Styles. Yeah, he just had the main. I know. He was in the main event. So I should probably put him in the top 10. But yeah, okay, I'll put him above LA Knight. So I got LA Knight at 15, AJ Styles at 14. I got CM Punk at 13. I know he hasn't wrestled yet either, but him and Drew, great storyline right now. Number 12, I got Adam Copeland. Number 11, I got Logan Paul. Sami Zayn's fallen a little bit to number 10. I got Yeet, Jey Uso at number 9. I think he'll hold steady. I think he's one of those guys that's going to hold steady. Maybe not after he lost this, but I think he's going to get mixed right back in with the Bloodline storyline, and especially after what we saw backstage at Backlash. Heyman walking by, Bloodline walking by, so I think he's going to stay prominent. Number 8, Will Ospreay. I'm still riding that high of being that dynasty, and definitely probably I'd say the match of the year for sure. One of the best matches I've ever seen in person and period with him and Bryan Danielson. Number 7, he's right back up there. Christian Cage back on my TV getting a title shot. One of the best heels in the game. He's worthy of the top 10 in my opinion. Number 6, I got Damian Priest. Number 5, I got your AEW champ Swerve Strickland. Number 4, I got Solo Sikoa. Number 3, I got Drew McIntyre. And at number 2, I got the Young Bucks. Yeah, that's right. Tag teams are in the men's top 25. And I'm putting the Young Bucks all the way at number 2. They're the second most thing I'm interested right now in professional wrestling. A storyline that they got going with taking over and running AEW. Now, they may just drop totally right out next week if AEW Dynamite sucks. Because it's up and down. But I think they got a chance for a really epic storyline with the Young Bucks trying to push their way and run AEW. They're at number 2. And, of course, Cody Rhodes is at number 1. That's been this episode of the Top Rope Podcast. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. We'll see you next time. God bless.